What's going on, friends? It's ActusXD here. If you're a new viewer, then welcome. If you're returning, then welcome back. Today, I want to talk about a way that you can literally double any gathering route's gold per hour. Now, that's not going to be news to a lot of you. A lot of you are going to know that 100% yield or more increases the number of drops you get from 1 to 2. That includes the base material as well as any rare material that you find. We're going to cover that information in the first part of the video very briefly, but then I've got a way for you to more easily get that yield that we're talking about, and I think it's going to be a bit of a game changer in terms of reaching that break-even point to, and I can't re-emphasize this enough, literally double your gold per hour from any gathering route farm that you do. So let's get stuck into the background of what the actual thing is for those who don't know, and then we'll catch up to what I think is my ingenious tip. So basically, if you can reach 100% yield or more for any gathering profession, so say harvesting, if you get 100% or more, if you go and pick a hyssop or a herb, instead of getting say 4 hyssop and 1 cinnamon, if that's what was going to drop, you'll get 8 hyssop and 2 cinnamon. Same thing rings true if you've got over 100% or over mining yield, and you go hit an orichalcum vein, you'll get twice the amount of orichalcum ore, and more importantly, if void ore drops, instead of getting 1, you will get 2. So, as you can see, you're doubling your gold per hour. That is not something new. I haven't come up with that. I don't get any accolades for that, unfortunately. Let's talk about how you could reach that 100% break point, and then let's get stuck into what I think is a fancy little tip. So, I think there are 6 ways to get there, I understand. 7 ways to get there. There are 7. Number 1, your tool can have up to 19% more yield for its relevant profession if it rolls a 600 gear score. It's a perk on every tool. If your tool doesn't have that perk, turf it. Get a tool that has that perk. I'm really speaking to level 60s here because you're the only people that are going to be able to get to this break-even point, I think, because orichalcum tools go up to 600 gear score. So you want to guarantee that perk on your tool. It goes up to 19% if the gear score on the tool is 600. The second way to increase your yield, at the 250 stat point buff that you get, for each stat you get a different 10% yield for certain professions. So for 10% more logging, you need 250 con. For 10% more mining yield, you need 250 strength, that kind of thing. If you spend or create a powerful proficiency booster, you will get an increase in yield for 15 minutes of 15%. On my server, those things are 150 gold, so you're paying literally 15 gold a minute for 15% more yield. They're expensive. If your faction owns the Windswood Fort, then you get an extra 10% yield in all the map. It's not just Windswood, you get it everywhere. If your faction owns the territory specifically in which you are farming, it's not global, just the one that you're in, then you get 10% in that location. And when you own a house, if you go to the town board and buy not the town board, to the map room thing area, you can buy a buff for, it's 2,500 gold for me. It'll increase your yield in a specific profession by 20% for 3 days. If you own houses across the map, you can buy that 3 times, it'll stack 3 times. If you own 2 houses in one territory, it won't stack. It's got to be separate territories, but it does stack, and it's global. It's not just for the one territory in which your house is in. All this information has come from an article on NWDB.info. It's not my information. I haven't come up with that. I'll put the link down below to the article there. But the last way, and the way that I want to focus and hone in on, is gathering cards from your territory standing. So to unlock this, what you first need to do is like this video and subscribe while I buffer, and then when you've done that, we'll get stuck into the tip. Awesome, thanks very much. I really appreciate that. I know you wouldn't lie to me. By choosing the territory standing cards when we level up our territory standing, the buff you get in each territory when you level up, you can choose one of the card options, which is a permanent buff to your character. You can't change it. You can't respec to get different ones. The choice that you make is permanent, applies to your character forever. It goes up to territory standing 300, which is the maximum amount of buffs you can get. That's a crazy number. I'm not sure if anyone's got there, actually. But if you were to get to 300, you would get an extra 65% yield by choosing the Gathering Speed card. Now, that sounds a bit maybe silly, I don't know, a bit unexpected, but whether it's a bug or whether the card just doesn't read properly, gathering speed increases your gathering yield. I don't know if it does both speed and yield. It doesn't feel like it to me. Some people say yes, some people say no, but it for sure increases the yield that you get. It's basically the most important card for our purposes of this video, and it comes up. Now, two things that you need to know, and I've learned from, again, NWDB.info. I'll put the links down below. One, the cards that you get aren't random. There's a full list of every card option that you get from 1 to 300 on the website. And there is also a table that shows what buff you get each time you select it. So for gathering speed, the first one you choose, the first card that you choose with that buff on it, gives you an additional 5% speed yield, definitely yield. And then every time you choose it thereafter, it's the same amount less 13.5%. I'll link that table down below as well. It goes to a minimum of 0.25% as you've chosen it X amount of times. So these are very valuable because of the ways that we can increase our yield. This is the only, well, not the only, but this is a great and the main way to increase it permanently and for free, really. I mean, just doing stuff increases your territory standing. So what we want to do is increase our territory standing in those territories where we intend to do our gathering routes so that we can more quickly, easily, and cheaply get to that 100% yield breakpoint and literally, and I keep saying this, double the gold on your gathering route. So if you do a orichalcum run in wherever you do it and you've got heaps of mining luck to try and get the void ore to come out of the thing on the ground for you, then if you increase your territory standing in whatever the relevant territory is and you bump it up, you are going to be able to get that 100% yield. So when it procs, you're getting double the amount of void ore or whatever it is. Tarragon if you're farming herbs. Game changer. So that's where this video comes in. I put a video up the other day about a really good hyssop farm. I'll put a link to the description. Oh, sorry. I'll put a link to the video in the description down below. Don't leave now because you want to hear the rest of this, and then you can click on that video and leave and watch them both in full. Thank you for the watch time. I appreciate you. But basically, now, I don't know whether I'm exaggerating here, but I feel like I'm not. Hyssop is the most important item in the game to increase your territory standing, and I think that increasing your territory standing is one of the most important things that you can do in the game to increase your available gold per hour farms or your available gold farms. So hopefully I'm not overstating it here, but I think Hyssop's just gone from like a bit of a meh, whatever it's to level up Arcana, to being like top tier, absolutely insane good thing to get. So why? Because it's the easiest way to farm up your territory standing quickly and consistently. Yes, you can do certain things like town board missions or quests in the town that you are, or crafting in town, but Hyssop is the fastest way to do it, and it's because you can farm a lot of it, and what you do is you go to the territory in which you want to increase your territory standing, and in that territory, you craft powerful, if you can, alkahest potions. You can make infused ones if you want to shill out the extra gold for a little bit more standing, but basically 1k hyssop equals 1k territory standing, and as far as I know, there's no faster way to farm your territory standing than smashing hyssop. So basically what you want to do now is get out in the world and start farming as much hyssop as you possibly can, and then choose where you want to increase your territory standing and go sit in that location and boost your territory standing by just smashing alkahest potion. Good tip. Thanks, Actus. All right, see you next time. Wrong. I have even more useful information for you. We aren't done yet. You do that, you go to your town and you start crafting the potions at the Arcana table. You're going to be paying those schmucks that own the territory a tax every time you craft a pot, which is taking gold out of your pocket and lining the bigwigs who are romping around town in their void bent. I've lost track of this. Anyway, instead of going to town and crafting your potions, what you're better off doing is going outside in whatever territory that you want to create your, in whatever territory you want to increase your standing, and creating your potions from your camp that you've set up there. Why? Well, it still increases your territory standing for whatever territory you're in, but you're not paying tax when you're creating the potions. So if you're going to craft yourself 2,000 potions and you would have been paying, I don't know, a gold tax, you wouldn't have been, but bam, you've just saved a huge amount of gold. So just by a simple hyssop farm, what we've done is turned our hyssop into alka-hest potions, which we can still sell for gold, so we've still got our gold farm. And while we're doing that, we're farming territory standing, which increases our yield to get double drops to make twice as much gold on every gathering route. So hyssop is like multiplying in how good it is, increasing our territory standing, which is giving you other benefits as well, because you can't choose gathering yield or speed every time. So you're going to be getting other things like increased storage in your town, reduced taxes, all that kind of thing. You're still getting gold from making your potions, and you're getting territory standing to be able to double your gold per hour. It is ridiculously good. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can go into town and buy, or you can go farm mats to make other pots that you can make in a tent at your camp, and you can make those pots with your powerful or infused alka-hest potions and get even more territory standing. So you can double up, which is ridiculous. Although you need to be a bit careful here, because you need to see if you want to keep your gold per hour up and you don't just want to farm your your territory standing as quickly as possible. Make sure that you're crafting pots which are still going to sell for more than whatever you've spent, either the time investment to go farm the mats or to buy them off the auction house. Trading post. I meant trading post. But yeah, so you can, just by farming hyssop, you can increase your territory standing to the point where you can heaps more easily and more cheaply reach the 100% yield breakpoint and literally double your gold. Now, I know this was more of a complicated gold farm kind of video. It's not something you can just run out the front door and farm and just make some gold. But this is the thing that you can laser focus in and really, if you've got a specific farm in mind that's already making you good gold, you can double how effective it is. So I can't really speak highly enough of this. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, then thank you very much. If you'd like to join the Discord, there's a link in the description down below. We're just getting that sort of set up so you can be in at the ground level. We do all sorts of discussions and things there. If you want to be notified, because I live stream on YouTube too, then hit the bell. And if you join Discord, you can get the roll so you get a ping in there too. We've got all sorts of exciting things happening. I've got one insane gold farm video coming up. It's going to be out in the next week or so. So if you're excited to see that, then make sure that you have subbed. What else do I want to say? I also want to do a house roast video. So if you want to have your house roasted or praised by me, then send me a short video of your house via WeTransfer.com to ActusXD at ActusXD.com, and I will get that in there. But in the meantime, thank you, I love you, and remember,